Morning, Spencer.
Good morning.
It is National Public Health Month. Mason County is celebrating that. Last week was National Public Health Week as well. nphw.org for more information. We've got some great guests in studio today talking Mason County Public Health. Ben Johnson and Alison Smallwood are here. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
For sure. Good to see you back in here. Ben, it's been a while. What did we say, a year or so?
Yeah, about a year. I usually come with the SAD Club and Jerry Apple and those guys.
Yeah. Well, it is Public Health Month. Mason County is celebrating this and getting some great information out to the public. You're kind of doing this week at a time here with some publicity and some focusing on things. So we're in the second week. So what was last week?
We are in the second week. So last week was Rural Health Week, and Mason County is considered a rural county due to its geographic spread out nature. So that affects our health. So I have some articles and some information on our social media pages about how being a rural county affects our health. So I shared that last week.
What's the main thing between a more city-centric, urbanized community versus what we have here?
So with a rural county, you tend to have access to care issues. So people have a harder time accessing primary care and also just emergency care in general. If you're in a rural area, it's a lot harder for EMTs to get to you and that kind of thing. So that's one of the barriers that people have to deal with when they live out in the country like we do here.
And with all the water around us and the mountains on the other side, it's tricky to get around.
Absolutely. So this week we're going to focus on physical activity and obesity. So that's going to be the focus this week. And I came last time and talked a little bit about some obesity numbers and physical activity stuff. So I'll be sharing more of that out and kind of resources for folks.
And we talked last time, it was what now, 60 minutes a day they want for kids?
It's a recommendation of 60 minutes a day of physical activity. Yeah.
What about for adults?
So adults is a little bit different. I think it's about 30 minutes is what they're recommending. So it's about half.
Okay.
But I'd have to check that stat.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's still important for adults to get out there.
Absolutely.
Don't just let the kids get out and have fun.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, absolutely. And then our third week, we're going to be focusing on environmental health. Which is also important. You know, we have a big shellfish industry here in Mason County, so we want to make sure our water is clean and fishable. And then with our last week, we're going to focus on prescription medication, safe storage, and disposal. And Ben is here to talk about that because that's kind of his forte and work that he does with his prevention stuff.
And this is a big thing, Ben. You go into a person's house, maybe you're using the restroom, and there's pill bottles all over the place, and some are expired, but they don't know what to do with them, or they keep them around just in case. And we're all recommending now that you safely dispose of them or keep them away from kids, right?
Absolutely. That's actually the goal, is to keep them either locked up, safely dispose of them, keep our kids safe, our pets safe, all that kind of stuff.
Think about pets. For sure, they probably can rip into those pill bottles just as easy.
Absolutely.
It's a big concern.
So we have disposal. Well, first of all, I want to mention April 27th is National Prescription Drug Take Back Day. And each April, we actually promote the entire month during Public Health Month as National Take Back Month in Mason County. So we have a campaign that's called Starts With One campaign. And we already kind of talked about what those goals are, to keep drugs locked up, prescription drugs locked up, or anything, vape, oils, anything that could be poisonous locked up. Maybe in a cabinet, lock boxes, those types of things. Safe. I've put my stuff in a safe. A lot of us have gotten prescription drugs, painkillers, that sort of thing, that maybe we only use one or two and we wanted to save it for later. So if that's going to happen, please lock it up. Otherwise, we have take-back boxes. The first one is located here at the Mason County Sheriff's Office at 322 North 3rd Street here in Shelton. And they only take the hard prescription drugs. They don't take liquids or sharps, that sort of thing.
Okay.
North Mason Fire Station in Belfair at 460 Northeast Belfair Highway, they also have one. And the Peninsula Health Clinic in Belfair has one too. They just started. And that is at 31 Northeast State Route 300 in Belfair. So one of the things that's happening in Washington State is all pharmacies are going to be required to have take-back boxes next year.
In 2020,
In-
right?
Yeah, in 2020. So that's going to help a lot. So a lot of our elderly folks that have, prescriptions, a lot of times a family member dies, and people come to us with like piles of it.
Yeah.
And so we have to send them to the sheriff's office. Now they'll be able to take them directly to their pharmacy. That's going to be big.
So if you come across some of these pill bottles and boxes in your home and for whatever reason you feel uncomfortable going to the sheriff's office to drop these off, it is private. They don't ask your name or anything. They
Absolutely.
just take it.
Yeah, and actually they're outside the office, outside the building, and most of the time there's nobody even there. So it's kind of like a mailbox, the big blue mailboxes where you just open up and shove it down there. They fill up pretty quick. There's not a lot of space. The sheriff's department does empty them on a regular basis. They weigh them. Last year we had 1,800 pounds brought in, and it's gone up by...
Well, you just think about little pills.
Yeah, yeah. It's gone up by about 200 pounds each year in the last 5 years. So we've been really trying to push this. We don't just push it in April. We
Yeah.
push. The other thing I want to mention is a website. It's called getthefactsrx.com. And on that site, you can find all of our take-back boxes in Washington State. So not just Shelton, but if you're from the Bremerton area or Olympia, McClary has one. So anybody that we're reaching
Sure.
should be able to find it. You just click on that, and then they have all kinds of interactive places you can get more information on prescription drugs. Not just take-back boxes, but if there's other issues surrounding substance use, that sort of thing.
So when folks have these, like you mentioned, you may have a schedule of pain relieving pills and you only take a few, and then you say, well, you never know. And so,
Right.
But do those pills lose their effective traits after a little bit of time?
There's some of that happens, but we know that people save their antibiotics. It just happens. It's just something that we don't encourage people to do that, and I'm sure our doctors wouldn't encourage people to do that, and to dispose of them if they're not using them. It's just a safety issue.
Yeah.
So, people do that. Just we. Like I said, I do it, but I've also had somebody take medication from my cupboard one time. So I lock it up.
You never know. People,
That's right.
as I mentioned, they come by, they start
Yep.
snooping through things. and
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's scary stuff.
Yeah.
Allison, you wanted to talk about live stories at
Yeah.
livestories.com. Is that the website?
No, so the URL is really long and hard to remember. We're working on that. But right now, people can access it by going into a Google search engine and searching Mason County live stories, live stories being all one word. And the first couple links that come up will take you to the various pages. So it's a new resource that we've created for the county, and it's meant for people to kind of interact with and access information that wasn't as easy to access on our website. Our website has a lot going on. So we wanted public health to have its own kind of area for people to go to get information about community health improvement, assessment, housing resources, housing and homelessness issues, as well as substance use response and just general resources in the county for that kind of thing. So that's something new that we will be sharing not only on our social media, but hopefully your guys' social media as well.
I found
This is
the
a great
link to this
page.
thing.
Great
Yeah,
we'll
so
get it out there for sure.
it's meant to be, interactive. The pictures, a lot of times you can click on it and it'll take you to websites of the various resources in the county. So that's
It's
what
got a
it's meant
breakdown of
for.
demographics
Oh, all
of the county and
sorts of
everything.
information here.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we'll put the link to that for sure.
we've
so
been working
folks can
hard
get
on
to
that
it.
for the last few months.
So Public Health Week was last week, month-long celebrations and information about things going on in Mason County with different focuses throughout the week, and you
Right.
can find out more on the Mason County Public Health website. Anything else you want to pass along? real quick?
Actually, I am the Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition coordinator for both Shelton and North Mason, and we have a Shelton meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock 4 o'clock at the Transit Center upstairs in the FES office. If any community member wants to be a part of that, it's open. People are welcome.
What do you talk about?
We talk about how we can help our young people either reduce their use or delay their use or no use. No use should be first.
Sure.
That's the first choice. So we've received some grant funding and we're doing some programming here, and maybe that'll be another show. But we're starting some good programming in Shelton and Mason County. The other meeting is the North Mason Substance Abuse Coalition, third Thursday, which would be next Thursday, 4 o'clock in their commons. We meet in the commons, usually go to a meeting room. So they go for about an hour and a half. Same thing up there, starting some programming. They're doing a lot of the work up there that like our SAD Club does here.
Yeah, okay.
And so we help promote that.
So if you're ready to get your feet wet and help out the folks in the county, these are some great opportunities instead of being on the sidelines complaining and do something about it.
We want people to know about these programs too.
Very cool. Van, Alison, good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
And we'll check in soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.